Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. There behind the glass stands a real blade of grass. Be careful as you pass. Move along, move along. Come inside, the show's about to start. Guaranteed to blow your head apart.
Hello, welcome back to Real Do It Yourself Build. In this video we're going to show you how we put the plasterboard onto the walls. In video 7 you'll remember how we put the plasterboard on the ceiling and how we cut the holes for our ceiling spotlights. You'll also remember in video 8 we plastered the ceiling and plastered one of the walls. In this video we're going to go back a step and we're going to show you how we plasterboard the walls and how we fixed all the plasterboard in place. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos.
Okay, so the next thing we're doing is plasterboarding this wall, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to use battens. These are 25 by 50, and we're going to put them on with the centre of the batten at 60 centimetres apart, so that there'll be one at each edge of each sheet of plasterboard and one right down the centre of the plasterboard. Now if you just come round to this side, what you can see is, if you come very, very close, you'll see that the plasterboard is actually marked up, and from the edge there's a little cross, and then if you come further there's another little cross, and then you come to the end, and those crosses are at 40 centimetre or 400 millimetre centres. Now this cross here, which is in between those, is at 600 millimetres, dead in the centre of this sheet, and if you look, they go all the way up the length of the board. So provided we put our battens in the right place, which we have done, so from this wall there's a batten at the edge, and then the centre of this batten is 600 millimetres from the wall, and the centre of this batten is 120 millimetres from the wall. What we can do is, when we cut our sheets and we put them against, we just go to the little crosses that I've shown you, and we can put our screws straight in, and we know without measuring that we're going to be exactly in the right spot to go right in the middle of this batten. So I've put these ones on already just to show you what it is that I'm doing, and this one here is about to go on. Now I've already marked the wall, and that's either side of the batten, so the centre of that will be a 60 millimetre centre or 60 centimetre centre from that one. I'm using a small piece of plasterboard on the floor just to keep the battens off the ground, because what I want is a little bit of clearance so that everything's clear of the floor. I just line that one up on the marks that I've already measured out on the wall. Now the batten itself I've pre-drilled, so I've just drilled a number of holes in this batten, and all I'm going to do is go through with my masonry drill, go straight through the hole into the wall, and now I can get a screw, and I've already put a roll plug on the end of the screw, and all I'm going to do is knock that straight through the batten and into the wall behind. Or with this one, because I've moved the batten, I'll put the roll plug in. I'll put the roll plug in, give it a little tap, and then I'll screw it in, and then the others I'll show you how you drill straight through with the others. It's not going in as neat as I hoped. Just clean that off. There we go. And so the following screws we just straight through the hole we've already made, like this. We put our screw in with our roll plug already on the end, tighten that up. There we go. Solid. Okay. Okay, so we're going to put that here. Straight against that. Straight against those battens. And that will be a perfect fit. Okay. And so all I'm doing is hold it in place with my leg and then fasten it on, just sink those slightly below the surface so that we can plaster over. That is as simple as that. Just put a couple in the other side to hold it in place. There we go. So that's that bit on. This next bit again is going to be the same height, 232, and this is 50 wide. I've marked it up, so let's just get it cut and get this one on. Hold that in place. Whoops, lay the piece down, cut along this back. Okay. Dust off the floor there. A little sweep up later maybe. Okay, and that's our next piece cut. So I'll just put that on the wall here. We just put that on and we line it up, just make sure we're all in line. And I've got a little piece underneath holding it up just at the moment, and then what we'll do is I'll put a couple of screws in just to hold that in place. Looks perfect. And on this side. check. Yep, everything's fine. Let's get a few screws in. And then we can put our corner trims on, which will help us with plastering later. And round the corners of the plastering or the plasterboard, wherever we've got a corner, I'm going to use these edges. Now this is like it's a corner edging strip that goes on the edge of the plasterboard, and it's got a 2mm raised bead on the very corner. And when you fasten it on, that raised bead, you can use that as a guide to to put the plaster on using your trowel. And if you have a look, they're already on here on the arch, and this bead goes up the side and then it matches with that bead there, which then goes round the arch. So we'll be able to smoothly just follow that round, and it'll help us get a nice flat surface. And also the bead helps to protect the corner. Very simple and straightforward to put on. All we need to do is measure the size of it, and I'm just going to do that by putting it up against the corner, and then we cut it using pair of tin snips on either side. Very straightforward, and then the corner bead just snaps away, and then we just place it onto the corner where we want it, making sure that it's even, and that if you come from this side, the highest part is the bead, and if you come from this side, the highest part is the bead. So it'd be no good if it was like that, where the bead wasn't the highest part here. So it has to be right in the centre, so that both sides can use that bead as a guide. And then we just use our old friends, the clout nails, and we just nail it straight into place. Like that. Now I'm going to put a few more nails in to just secure that properly, although it is, because it's well positioned in the corner, it feels quite firm. But I'm going to put a few more nails in. But the other thing to remember is that when you put your next piece on, you want to make sure that this bead here lines up perfectly with that bead, so you've got a very smooth transition where it comes round. Otherwise, if you don't, if it's in, or if it's not quite level, you'll find that you get a mark there in your plaster. So that has to be perfectly level. Okay, and so there's the window all framed now with the corner edging strip. And yeah, this sort of leads us to the next thing. I am going to be having a go at plastering. Well, how hard can it be? We'll see.